T minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff.
Live from somewhere deep in the Freedom State of Florida, it's the Let's Be Frank Show with your host, Frank.
Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back over here at Uniquely Us. I decided to go ahead and do a live stream over here with y'all tonight. No particular topics that I have in mind. I do have a few stories we'll probably cover over here that I would like to talk about, but mostly this is for you guys, for an opportunity for us to go ahead and connect. I've invited a few people over onto the channel to just have a chat with them as well if they want to come on. I've already reached out to them. And so that's great. I'm glad that you guys are here. Don't know how long we'll go for, maybe a half hour to an hour, depending on how the conversation's flowing. But, you know, with everything that's been happening and everything that's going on, I'm just glad to be here live with y'all. So hello, AC Cruz. Thanks for joining. I just want to real quick make a quick shout out to Rainmaker. This probably already faded away on the chat side. But I wanted to go ahead and say thank you for the super chat that he sent right as I set this thing up about a half hour ago. He sent this super chat. So thank you so much, Rainmaker. It says, hey, Frank, just got freedom from YouTube jail. Praise God. Here's a blessing for you. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Oh, there's Rainmaker, by the way. So awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Rainmaker. It is much appreciated. Got a few things that we have going on right now. Obviously, you know, if you're on this channel, you know we've been covering the book of Revelation in our Bible studies. I've been cutting up pieces of that to help you guys through if you don't get an opportunity to, you know, actually watch the whole live stream. I do have individual pieces that I put up on the channel for you guys. Also, I've been really working to really find my footing, if you will, over on the main, I say main channel, over on the other channel. Let's be frank, I've been really struggling internally to really bring forth stories. I really want to make sure that I'm being genuine and really cover things that really do matter. However, I don't want to do it in a way that it seems as though that we are cheerleading things that don't need to be cheerled, I guess, if you will. There's a lot of stories right now. I know many influencers on YouTube and other places are covering, and you know, it's, you know, for example, I did a story yesterday over on Let's Be Frank, talking about the Texas Democrats who fled the state to avoid voting on the new congressional map that Texas Republicans have put together to essentially phase out a bunch of Democrat seats based off the census data that we had. And so when I saw that, I said, man, that's a great story to really touch on a few things. A couple of those things were the threats that Ken Paxton and Governor Abbott issued out over there saying, hey, if you guys don't come back, we're going to arrest you and your seats are going to be null and void. And if you don't come back, well, they failed to follow through on this. And it's we're 11 days in now, 11 days, I think, 11, 12 days in, and they've yet to do any of those things that they promised to do. And they are just empty threats. And I get really tired. I in the past, I would have made a video cheerleading. Oh, Governor Abbott just said that he's going to lock up those Democrats, and people get all excited. And, you know, they click the video, which is nice because I get paid by the views, right? However, when it doesn't happen, you're like, man, why did I even produce that video if the threat that Governor Abbott, I'm just using this story as an example, if Governor Abbott is actually going to arrest these Democrats like he says he's going to, but then doesn't, why am I cheerleading this move? And it's been bothering me. I had this discussion with Sharon the other day, and it was bothering me to the point where I haven't really put a whole lot of content out over there recently. And it just, I can't get over that. I can't get over the fact that we've brushed aside huge stories just because it may harm the current party in power that we have voted for. And I really, really don't like it. I don't like that you'll be labeled a panicking, for example, for wanting to get down to the truth about a few of the stories that have been pretty relevant. I was pretty harsh on Benny Johnson the other day. I did a video, and people were in the video in the comment section there talking about how I was jealous of Benny Johnson and stuff. That could be further from the truth. I'm not jealous of Benny Johnson. I think he does good work for what he does. There's a lot of stories that he really does bring to the light, and he highlights them. And my only issue with Benny, well, there's a couple issues I have with Benny. One, that he tends to take stories or take videos of smaller content creators and tries to pass it off as his own. And he also doesn't want his access to the administration to be hampered, so he doesn't seek to really dig much further into stories or ask questions that really do matter, because they might impact his ability to be able to have access to those administration officials. And so I'm not jealous of Benny, and I'm happy that Benny was able to sit in that new media chair the other day. My issue with Benny on that video was having the opportunity to ask the important questions. Instead, you ask about if Big Balls is going to get the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And I get it. It's a troll, right? It's going to, Democrats are all riled up about Big Balls getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I guess that's fine. Yeah, right. I guess that's okay. I think I've just had an issue with just the constant. It doesn't matter. The story doesn't matter, right? And I have a hard time covering it. Before, I would have covered that story. I would have said, oh, yeah, Benny Johnson really got under the skin of Jen Psaki over on MSNBC because she had to say Big Balls on the air, right? And it just, I don't like it. I don't like it. And I'm having difficulty with putting out content over there that truly reflects on how I'm able to inform people. And I don't know if the issue is I'm worried about people leaving the channel. And I don't think I am, because if you look at my analytics over on my channel, I've probably lost, over the course of the last couple of years, I've probably lost over a few thousand subscribers, whether they've left because of my inactivity, maybe they were bots, or maybe their accounts were suspended, or maybe they just didn't like what I was talking about and they unsubscribed. All those things are things that could have happened. And I could be having this conversation over on the other channel, but I decided not to. I know many of you guys are here that are true followers of the content I put out, because on this channel, you guys know I'm in scripture over on this channel. I tried to cover those types of things that I think matter the most. And what matters the most is Christ. What matters the most is the gospel. And that's why, I feel more passionate about putting content over here, even if it is a Bible study that only hosts 10 people, 11 people. It doesn't matter to me, the numbers in regards to that. What matters to me the most is getting the gospel out in front of people the best way that I'm able to present it. And I'm appreciative of the fact that you guys support that effort. But going back to what I was talking about earlier and screwed up, Nevsky says, I embrace the labels of sociopath or psychopathic and panicking. Yeah. Yeah. I do also embrace the label of panicking. And it's all the same people. And if I say I disagree with Trump's handling or something, or there's a story that came out yesterday that I haven't even touched yet. I've been thinking about touching it, but I kind of been waiting to kind of see if he pulls the trigger on it or not. Is putting Janet Yellen as the Fed chair. Janet Yellen, the former Treasury Secretary under Joe Biden. Why would he even think about doing that, right? And it's stuff like that. It's like, okay, either this story's wrong or Trump hasn't learned his lesson about hiring people. And that is an issue, right? Because all those people who are saying, oh, these people are terrible. And then as soon as Trump hires them, they're like, oh, this guy's great. And it just switches over like that. It's like there is no principles or anything behind any of this. And don't get me wrong, I'm appreciative that Trump did win the election. I think we're in a better position than we were if we would have had Kamala. However, there are a lot of missteps and missed opportunities that this administration under Trump has already whiffed on. And it's frustrating from a point. I was just telling Sharon. Janet Yellen for sure, Cool Ramon. I was just telling Sharon yesterday. I was standing there across from her and we were talking, and she's like, are you going to do a live stream? You haven't done one. And maybe this was a couple of days ago. You haven't done one in a while. I said, yeah, I know. I haven't done one in a while. And I was kind of going through these feelings and telling her about it. I said, I'm just not that excited about this Trump's administration. I'm really not. I'm not that excited. I'm not that excited about what Trump has done. There's some good stuff that he's done. Don't get me wrong. However, overall, I just don't feel that excitement of what Trump is doing. And when we think about some of the stuff that's underlying the Trump administration, the things that are connected with the current Trump administration, it can be worrisome with some of the stuff that he's involved this administration into, right? Okay, for example, I think the cleaning up DC is great. I do. I think what he is doing in order to clean up Washington, D.C. is great on the surface. On the surface, I think it's great because there is a homelessness problem in D.C. There is a problem in the crime in D.C. And there is a problem with the drugs in D.C. And of course, the criminals who also live there, who are congressional members of Congress, right? There's a lot of layers there. I do believe that because DC is special in the sense that it's a federal land, that he should have oversight in DC. Our capital should not be a capital that is overrun with homelessness, crime, and just disgusting smells. I said it smelled like piss the last time I visited DC. It's so bad. The urine stench in DC is terrible. If any of you guys have visited DC, I've been a few times in the last 10 years. Have not been back since 2021, though. So I haven't been back in the last 5 years currently, right? And so for me, I think that what's going on in DC and going on with Trump and the federalizing of course, the police department, it's a great thing. It's a good thing. The only thing I caution against is trying to do it anywhere else. And not that we don't need to clean up our cities, because we do. Our cities are filthy. And I know there has to be a better way of doing this. And I know Trump is using all of the tools available to him to do this. However, it sets a precedent, right? Um, and hopefully, you know, we can go on a generational run and clean up these big messes. But the reality is, I don't think that will extend in the next, I don't know, let's just say 2 terms. I don't know if we have the backbone, the spine to continue. Because it's going to get to a point where they're going to be like, well, they're just so mean and hateful, and they continue to do these things. And it is one of those things that we have to deal with, the reality. Hey, Sabrina, thank you so much for the Cash App, by the way. Thank you. That was a very generous gift. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. So anyway, I know you guys may have some thoughts on that, and I hope you guys do. And we're just chatting. We can talk about anything. I've just been dealing with this whole thing. Yeah, thank you so much, Sabrina. I just been dealing with this for the last couple weeks. I've been really struggling with this, and I think it's something I've struggled with for a while. I've struggled with this feeling over the course of the last few years, and mostly it's really I had been under conviction of the Holy Spirit, of how I cover things. Right, I was very successful in 2020, very successful in 2021. However, that success, I believe, was really, I mean, if I look back on my old videos, if I could really go back and look at my old videos, I'm probably not very Christ-like in many of them. And it's quite embarrassing. And I have a hard time still to this day to present the news or current events in a entertaining fashion that's not dishonoring to Christ. And that's why I think I feel better when I'm over here on this channel. Well, I'm over here on this channel because this channel, I'm able to talk about the things of Christ. And not that I can't talk about it over there on the other channel. I mean, I could definitely move to Bible studies over there. And I think maybe that's what I should do. Maybe we should present the Bible studies over on Let's Be Frank. And it's just those types of things that I'm been dealing with. I want to do live streams. I want to make sure I could do them in a manner that honors Christ, and be able to still be successful enough on here to support my family. Because what I've done, right? What I've done, and this is something that Sharon and I talked about when we made this move. We moved to a new place to live and stuff like that. And she said, you really need to focus on YouTube and really work in putting videos out and earning money doing it, because I can obviously earn way more here than in my job that I work part-time at. And I stepped away from full-time work to part-time, and then to super part-time, where I only work a day a week, because I can earn a living doing this stuff by creating videos and stuff like that. But creating some of those videos, I think, that may not be honoring to Christ, I don't want those videos to be what defines my channel. And I think I made a video maybe a couple of years ago where I wanted to do a Christian perspective series on Let's Be Frank. And I just could not find the right temperament to do it. I couldn't translate that well to video. And I really struggled. And that's where a lot of my struggles came in, and I'm not blaming obviously the Holy Spirit and convicting me, and conversations with my pastor convicted me. I'm not blaming those things, because if I'm not honoring Christ, then I'm not doing what the Lord wants me to do, obviously. And so I when I try to make videos anyway, I don't know. Maybe politics isn't for me anymore. I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer, because if I can't cover politics with a Christ-like spirit, then I don't know if I need to be covering politics. Because I see how a lot of other YouTubers are on here on this platform, even on the Rumble platform over on X, that claim to be Christian, and nothing but filth comes out of their mouth. Their life doesn't reflect Christ-likeness. And it's like, is this who is leading the charge in this, right? And I have a hard time thinking through about this. It's like, how do I cover the political climate without being petty, without the name calling, without these things that isn't honoring to Christ, right? Because we should pray for our leaders. We should pray for salvation for our leaders. We should pray for the people that absolutely hate us. We should pray for them. We should pray to God that He saves them, and that salvation is given. They're transformed into a new creature, right? That's what is the goal of what we're put to here for, right? To spread the gospel, to pray for our enemies, and to engage in that type of way. So I keep on thinking, maybe politics isn't for me any longer. Maybe I've been holding on to the politics and saying, no, this is what I should be doing, when the Lord's been pulling me away from it and saying, it's not. It is not what you should be doing. And maybe that's the result of not having the same numbers I used to have. I don't know. It's these kinds of thoughts that I've struggled with. And I'm now sharing with you guys about it. I think that is that definitely is some character growth, I would say, right? Cool Ramon says, Frank, we are trying to be Christ-like, but the Democrats are being evil. I know. And see, I see that, and I can see myself becoming petty when talking about it. And if my pettiness is going to be a stumbling block for others who maybe are new in Christ, then I don't want to be that stumbling block. I don't want to be the stumbling block for somebody else. And it's, for example, it's like, maybe trying to think of a good example. I don't want to be the stumbling block for a brother or sister in Christ when it comes of how we're supposed to engage with the world in a social media platform. And I struggle with this. I don't want to be the stumbling block. I don't want other Christians to see me and say, wow, this guy's a Christian, right? And not bring honor to Christ. And I think there's ways to do it. For me, however, I don't know those ways yet. And again, maybe this is what the Lord's been pulling me away from. I can almost guarantee you that is what it is. Yeah. And some people can, AC Cruz. Some people can do a phenomenal job of doing it. Dr. Steve Turley, AC Cruz brings up, does a great job of doing politics without the name calling. Yeah. There are wonderful individuals who have the talent and the temperament to be able to do this in that sense. And that temperament I don't think I have. I too often devolve back into wanting to name call. I do. I mean, that was most of my channel was built upon when I would really going in at it with the opposition party. And things started to change for me in 2021. A lot of things started to change. And so for me, that's where I've kind of been, in that weird place of this may not be what I need to be doing as far as creating content, and maybe in the political sphere. Maybe there's something else in this sphere that I can contribute to. And that's what I've really been kind of moving toward. I'm interested in a lot of stuff. And I think people might be interested in it as well. I got to figure out how to present it, though. And that's the issue. I like talking about stories. I like commentating. I was telling Sharon that the other day. I really do enjoy commentating. I like commentating. I like talking about things. There's a lot of stuff I like talking about. There's a wide spectrum of topics I love to talk about. I like talking about the Bible. I like talking about theologies. I like talking about those types of church history. I like talking about those things. I know people that people in those spheres that like talking about that stuff too. I like talking about sports. I enjoy talking about sports. My brother is now, doing YouTube covering sports. I don't want to cover sports like my main topic, right? Johnny Root's awesome. He covers sports, and he does it in such a great way. He covers the not only just like sports in general, but he highlights the faith of players. And I think that's awesome. I think what Johnny Root does is awesome. And then there are individuals who can just talk for hours. They amaze me. People like Steven, you guys know, Voice of Steven. People like Steven, for example, he can talk for hours and hours and hours. And it's not that I can't talk for hours, but I can't talk like he does for hours. Like, I have to have all my stories all set to the side, ready to go, and talk about X, Y, and Z and things. And Stephen just naturally able just to hold these conversations. And let me tell you, it's not as easy as you think it is talking to a camera and being able to have these conversations. Yeah, I see the chat, right? He sees the chat too. Sometimes he'll just, he'll disable the chat for a little bit or on his screen so he can't see the chat, so he can go through whatever he's talking about. And it's something that you have to develop over time, is looking at this camera right here and seeing into the audience. I'm looking at you guys. You guys are looking at me, but I can't see you looking at me. You can see me looking at you, but behind my camera, there's nothing, right? So I'm looking currently right now at an open door, and I'm looking into a bathroom across the hall. And so anyhow, that's what I kind of am working on. And I'm currently still putting content out over on the other channel on Let's Be Frank. I put a video out today just talking about what Trump was going to do with the policing in DC. Yeah, Cool Ramon. Politics is way more important than sports. But what tends to happen, though, Cool Ramon, I think what tends to happen sometimes is we tend to treat politics like sports, right? We tend to cheer for our team. And I get it. I get it. Not saying that I'm going to be covering sports all the time, right? or if I'm even going to cover sports. I'm just saying. I just think that a lot of times we sit there and we'll make politics into a sport, you know. And maybe what I'm also dealing with is that I don't like all the fakeness. There's so much fakeness. So much fakeness, man. It really is irritating to see the amount of fake people. And not so much that they have large followings, because a lot of them do. They have large followings, and you know, I don't care about that. But what I see again with these large following accounts is that, you know, they sit there and sorry, I'm just wiping up some condensation over here from my cup. What they tend to do is they put this front on as if they're like a Christian, and they're not. They're not. Or if they are, they're more of a cultural Christian, right? Cultural Christian. That Christian that will get drunk on Saturday night and go dancing at the club or whatever, and get drunk and have sex outside of marriage or whatever, and then head to church the next morning. And that's the only time they set foot. That's the only time they pick up their Bible. And not saying that these influencers do that. I'm just saying that some of them do. That's the type of people they are. They're cultural Christians. They take the name of Christ and they just slap it in their bio. But yet nothing that they say or produce reflects that. So, yeah. Hey, Katie, you can join if you want to join, Katie. Katie, by the way, has a great channel. Katie does her crime stuff, and she got her video pulled down last night, and then she was able to stream. Thankfully, she went through the process and she was able to regain access to her channel and be able to do a live stream. I saw that she put up a video to kind of a test video. But yeah, Katie's awesome. I love Katie. And I really enjoy seeing the success of others. I really do. I know Katie, for example, started off really small. She continues to grow because she's passionate about what she does. It's in our chat log, Katie. It's in the group chat. It's in the group chat over on X. And you know, the thing is that I really enjoy about Katie is that she loves what she does. She covers it the way she wants to cover it. And man, that's awesome. I love to see the success that she's been having. And I want that success for other people in the spheres and stuff like that. And if I'm able to help in any way by, you know, helping with, you know, my experience on the platform, you know, more power to those who can take the advice and do something with it. But, you know, you guys, for example, you guys are a blessing and a motivator at the same time. I've been more consistent delivering our Bible study since I've returned. We've done multiple Bible studies and doing lots of great stuff. Yeah, I want to see Sharon more too. Me too. I want to see Sharon more too. She did some cooking videos. But she really struggled on getting them put together. She did a video about, I think, of the making bagels. I think she did a video about doing bagels, and she just didn't have anybody here because FD and I were both at work. She didn't have anybody to hold the camera for her. As she kind of did. It was way harder than I think what she thought it was going to be as far as filming by herself and getting the angles that she wanted. And so she was a little bit frustrated that she was unable to get it all completed. I think she did video everything, and I think she Just hasn't had time to put the video together, but she did a video making the bagels. I thought it was really, really good on how she did it. And I know she put some pictures up on the community page, and I think she does a great job. I told her this the other day. I said, "Hey, babe," I said, "I think you should practice doing live streams on your own and talk about whatever you want to talk about. I think people would show up to listen to what you had to say about stuff. And you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Talk about what you know." I said, "But the only way we get more comfortable in front of the camera is doing this more, right?" And so I see Katie Zed is here today. Hopefully she's getting ready. She'll give me a thumbs up when she's ready. Thumbs up, she's ready. Okay, let's bring her on.
Hello.
Hey, Katie, how are you?
I'm doing great right now. I was having a terrible time today, but all is right with the world now.
I was just filling them in on what happened with your channel with the whole, video being taken down and you had a strike applied, right?
Yeah, what I think happened is I don't know if you know this about me, Frank, but I have a couple of haters. And what I think happened is one of them or several of them or a horde of them reported me, and the AI, excuse me, that YouTube uses is not intelligent enough to realize what's what. And I was showing, give me 1 second. I have to clear my throat.
You're good.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
It was a strike for a firearms policy. Now, on my channel, I show a lot of body cam videos, which, as you all know, police officers carry guns. So it was a police officer with a gun that I was showing when it happened. I think what happened is people reported me, and then the AI did its scan. And it's like, yep, there's a gun on the screen. And that, so I appealed immediately. My stream came down. I appealed, I got denied. And then I have a person that I did, I have a person that I emailed that was able to get it fixed for me.
Yeah, you have a contact now at YouTube.
I do have a contact.
You're important. You're important now.
I did. His title's I forget what his title is, community partner coordinator or something.
Partner. Yeah, I have one as well.
Yeah, whatever that guy is. Yeah. So this afternoon, and here's what I want to say about all of this is this morning, actually, the people in my Discord server, my subscribers, my fans, I hate to call people fans. That feels weird.
I know. It doesn't feel weird to say that.
It does, but they wanted to go scorched earth because they think they know who did it. And I rallied them all in, and I said, that's not what we do here. We don't seek revenge. We pray for people.
Yeah.
And we cut cancer out of our lives. And that was my message to them this morning. And then by the time I got home from work, everything was fixed. So I think that God had a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm glad for your channel to be up and going again with none of the strikes or none of that stuff.
Yeah.
Going on. Have I ever told you the story about my very first strike?
No. Well, I'd love to hear it though.
Yeah, my very first strike on the channel, on the Let's Be Frank, happened early on. It was when was it? It was my first year of YouTubing. I guess that's what you call it. And I was doing, and this is before I even could do video on my live streams. I couldn't do what we do now, where I put video in and stuff like that. I was literally reading from paper scripts. I would put out a story. I would have it in my hand. That's how I did my live streams back when I first started. We just watched one of my old. I just did a video watching my old very first video. I had these little note cards.
I saw it. I was cringing for you.
These little note cards. Anyway. So I was doing this video. I was talking about Rachel Maddow, MSNBC, and something she was saying about Donald Trump or whatever. And I was reading from my script here of the story. I said, Rachel Maddow, blah, 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 blah. And so the stream went well. I had 30 people on there, and it was a big success. And I wake up, and I had a strike on the channel, and the video had been put down. NBC Universal had sent me a strike for showing video content of their stuff. And
But
so
you were just reading.
Yes, I was just reading, and so I appeal this to the AI at YouTube. This was in 2017, and I get a reply back saying, no, the strike continues, or it's going to stay on.
Yeah.
And so it was a 6-month ban. It was a 6-month ban.
Oh,
yeah. And so I tried to appeal again. They say I would have to dispute it with NBC Universal. I would have to actually dispute the claim. And
who do you even call at NBC Universal?
No. And then, of course, being a new YouTuber, new on this platform, you don't have the tools to figure this thing out.
No.
And so I had to go the last 6 months of my channel with a strike on it and not be able to live stream.
Oh, wow. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't live stream. That's pretty much all I do is live stream and cut shorts out of the live stream because I'm not talented enough to edit a video. So
yeah. And so,
hello, Spruce. Hi, Spruce.
Yeah, Spruce is here. They're always sitting on the couch over here, but I've been having lots of camera issues. So
my first ordeal with strikes was one of my haters, the crazy one that you probably hear about more than you want to in the group chat. That one guy did 3 separate copyright strikes on my channel in one night. And I don't know if your audience knows, but if you get 3 strikes, they just delete your whole channel. He was trying to take my channel down. And I disputed them. And I also think he was trying to get my real name and address and stuff like that, because
trying to dox you out there.
In order to dispute them, you have to give information. Luckily, literally a week before that, Mr. Zed said to me, I think we should set you up a P.O. box in case people want to send you stuff, just out of the blue. And he just went out and did it for me. And I think that's another instance of the big guy upstairs looking out for me, because I was able to use the P.O. box address in my appeal, or you know, and he never, once it goes back to that person, they have to pursue it in a court,
right?
Which he obviously didn't do, because it wasn't real. I didn't actually steal anything I didn't steal his content. I didn't even talk about him, so
yeah, that's crazy. I've actually had my channel taken down before. I don't know if I've ever told you that story either.
It's scary.
I think I've done everything you can do on this platform.
Yeah.
Learn from my mistakes. It wasn't even a mistake, right? And so I wake up one morning, again, go to bed after a live stream or whatever, wake up to an email from YouTube saying, Dave, my channel had 0 strikes, by the way. 0 strikes. And it got taken down. And they say, sorry to inform you, but we've decided to take down your channel for reuse content.
Those emails, what? And they're like, I know this might be disappointing.
Yeah, this might be disappointing. You're like,
shut your mouth,
really?
YouTube.
This is my livelihood. This is disappointing.
Yeah.
And so
the way they word them.
My goodness, that was it was 3 days. 3 days it took for me to appeal and be able to show that I did not use reused content in the form they were saying I used it in. The problem was they didn't specify a specific video. They didn't specify a specific timestamp or any of those things. So you go on there and you're like, what video was it?
Yeah.
And they're like, well,
YouTube was doing that a lot. It was pretty recently, because both my co-hosts and I have gotten those, because when we're streaming to both of our channels, and we have separate audiences, but we're streaming the same content.
Right.
And we would both get the reused content thing. And I don't know why, but every time we appealed it, you just hit the submit appeal button and it would go away. Luckily. Right. So I guess it was getting better by that point, but I mean, it's only been a year and a half or something that I've been doing that show with a permanent co-host. So
yeah, and the problem is, or especially at the time when you lost your channel, there was really no avenue for you to go through, and thankfully at the time, I actually had a lot of content creators that I had made contacts with that helped me over on Twitter get a hold of the people on Twitter, the YouTube help center or whatever. And I had enough people that had a clout that were able to really get it to be looked at. And when they looked at it, they reversed everything. My channel was reinstated. And what Missy's put up here on here, she said, and wasn't at the time you were trying to go on a mission trip. It wasn't.
Oh yeah.
But we did run into demonetization on the main on my other channel during that time, which was the one that would bring in the most income of the two channels. This channel here, Uniquely Us, brings in a very small amount of income compared to the bigger channel.
Uniquely Us brings in Katie's Ed numbers, not Frank numbers.
And I remember that was during the mission trip. That was in 2023. 2023.
Yeah.
And it was the 2023. So I didn't get remonetized until after the mission trip was completed.
Yeah.
And that was a horror deal. Man, that was the worst remonetization effort I had to go pursue through that. That was a really tough time in my life, and especially the YouTube life there. And it was one of those things where I don't know if you've ever been part of any of my streams where I've done the purge videos. Have you ever been part of those? Where I put up my screen and show as I'm deleting videos off my platform. Yeah. That was. I've done that 3 separate occasions, Katie. You know how many videos I've created in my time on YouTube? Obviously,
thousands.
Over 6,000 videos.
Yeah. Wow. That's quite a bit, Frank.
Over 6,000 videos. Yeah. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. That was obviously my catalog doesn't reflect that any longer. If you look at my page, and I get people that go on there, oh, you must have bought all your subscribers or something, because there's no way you've earned all these subscribers or whatever. And I earned the bulk of them back in 2020, 2021. And it's just been a, what did they call a plateau?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I was kind of proud of you when you did get demonetized when you were going on your mission trip that time, because I know how hard it is to keep putting out content when you know you're not getting paid for it, right? But you continued to do that because you have to, because otherwise you're going to lose your audience, right? But even I finished the live stream yesterday. So for 2 hours, I didn't get paid. And that was killing me. We were strictly streaming to my co-host channel, and whatever he makes on his channel, he keeps, and what I make on channel, I keep. And that was so difficult for me to do, but I did it. And it all worked out. But it really took, I know what it took for you to keep up the effort that you were putting in, knowing, there's an end in sight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know if you were listening when we started streaming today, but I was talking about the struggles I've been kind of going through personally with making content on the platform. I don't know if you got to hear about any of that.
I didn't. I got here right when I said hello.
So. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I've just been talking about what I kind of led with the channel with my difficulty of being able to create content on the Let's Be Frank channel. Not so much here on this channel. This channel, there's no shortage about talking about the Bible and talking about God and talking about Christ.
Yeah.
So this channel is easy to create content for. The other channel I have been talking to them about was I've been struggling. I've been struggling for the last couple of years, truly. And I was telling them I think I've been really convicted through the Holy Spirit. And during the 2020, 2021, when my channel really got big, a lot of my content, if I were to go back and look at it, if I were to really kind of examine it, really wasn't like honoring Christ. I did a lot of name calling and a lot of just things I don't do anymore. And I was telling them, I say, I've had this hard transition trying to cover things I want to talk about, but be able to cover them in a manner that honors Christ at the same time. And I just know that when I talk about these topics, about whatever topic I want to talk about over on Let's Be
Mhm.
Frank, political or whatever, is that it doesn't have the same oomph as it would if I were to cover it like I used to,
Yeah.
to be that entertainment. And I know a couple of the people, gave some examples of people that have been successful being able to do that. And I said, yeah, that's great. More power to them if they're able to cover it that way. I just have struggled doing that because my default is to go into sarcasm, humor in ways of making fun of somebody or stuff like that. That's like that feels
I'm
natural.
guilty. I'm guilty. I'm so guilty of that. You're right though. But
And
it's a lot of times easier to go that route. You know how much
is.
easier and how much better not that it would feel better, maybe, I don't know, but the momentarily feeling better if I were to have said in my Discord server this morning, yeah, go get them, and then watch people crumble. That would have felt good for a minute, right? But it is more difficult to do the right thing, but doing the right thing is how we grow.
Yeah. And so for me, that's where I kind of been at with my thing. And not saying I haven't put out content. I just not at the speed I've been doing where I would do it at, where I would put lots of content out. And it's just like a video a day. And I haven't really done a live stream over there because I don't feel entertaining. I could be informative, but I don't want to be boring informative. Nobody wants to watch a boring informative guy. Yeah, the information might be great, but this dude's putting me to sleep.
There's a way to be entertaining without being hurtful.
Yeah. And I'm still maybe searching for that. And
I've seen you do it before. Like I've seen you do it before. You can do it. You just have to. You need a thesaurus, is what you need.
Thesaurus. I like that.
Yeah.
Sure. But you're right about the feeling good moment. For that short period of time of feeling good after you do something. I know dealing with things behind the scenes and stuff where you want to be able to just let people have it, but instead you hold back and you don't, and it turns out better that way when you do.
It does.
And because it would have been real easy to feel good about unloading on people and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. The one, I mean, some of the people who watch my show also have ins with big law tubers, and they have big audiences, and they could have 1,000 people report somebody's channel right now if I wanted them to, but that's not the right thing to do.
Right.
Plus, I don't know for sure who did it, so it didn't seem right. You know,
no, you're right.
I think I know, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know, I'd love to send Katie Zed stories all the time. Not that she covers them all, but I just want to make sure she has stories to talk about.
Yeah, I do some of them. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was happening. Yeah.
And since I have her here, we're going to actually cover a story
that
is up her alley, or will be maybe up her alley. So do you know anything about video games?
I mean, I get
you look like a gamer. You look like a gamer.
I haven't played video games since like the first Halo came out. So what is that, 20 years ago?
Yeah. So online gaming, for example, there's a lot of communities on online gaming. One of those communities is under the computer gaming called Roblox. Have you ever heard of Roblox?
Yes, I have. And I have seen what's happening.
Okay. So Roblox, for you guys out there, if you don't know, is a very popular gaming site for young kids.
Like little kids, like 10, 12-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Little kids.
Yeah. Like
not teenagers.
Well, teenagers are on there too.
But I'm just saying there's a lot. It's
mostly for
a
little
game.
Kids.
It's a game that is advertised to little children.
Little children.
It's not like one of the I can't even name another video game. How sad is that? Like one that has guns or something like that a teenager would play.
They do have guns on that. Roblox is a
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Roblox is let me describe it. Roblox is a sandlot type of gaming. So you can make games inside of Roblox, for example, like party games. So you can make things like Squid Game. You can make things like first-person shooters. You can do all these things inside of Roblox. And the big thing about it, of course, as you mentioned, a lot of small kids like to participate in Roblox because it's fun. My son plays from time to time still, but he doesn't get groomed and picked up by weirdos online.
I've met your son. I have a feeling he would let somebody know immediately because that's the kind of kid he would. Yeah,
he would. So what we have here. Well, I'll do the Roblox users. 20% of the users are under 9 years old of age. 20% are between 9 and 12. 16% are between 13 and 16. And 44% are 17 years age or older. So what's been going on with the whole Roblox thing, for you guys that maybe not know about Roblox, is that's where kids are vulnerable. Parents believe it's a safe place, and Roblox says that they have community guidelines and standards and safety that are put in place. However, what has been shown of late, Katie, is that what Roblox has recently done has kicked off people who have been trying to catch these pedos.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Like they're like, oh, there's moderation. And you look around, nobody's moderating anything. And if you try to step in and moderate, from what I've heard, I think I watched, maybe it was in a Tozy video. Somebody was talking about this. They just boot those people who are hunting the bad guys, basically.
Yeah, because what they'll do is what a lot of times these predators will do on Roblox, for example, is they'll lure the kids off of Roblox onto something like Discord, for example, or a Telegram, or something, right? One of those other platforms, and then that's where the engagement comes into. They'll sit there and they'll lure them in and coax them to send them photos and possibly even meetups.
And then blackmail them with those photos to send more photos.
Correct. And so what a lot of the predator hunters have been doing, they've been posing as children. Obviously, that's how you entrap these individuals. And they get them to come off onto those other platforms. And that's where they engage with them in order to try to bring them to justice. And so what Roblox have said is that is not permitted on their platform. In other words, they are more willing to protect the pedos, which leads me to believe that the moderators in Roblox and those that are in positions of power are maybe sympathetic to those people's nature.
I think for sure they want to add another stripe to the LGBT flag for maps,
for sure. And what has happened now that there's been a lawsuit now pushed by the state of Louisiana by the attorney general there against Roblox. And what that's going to do, obviously, is going to open up their servers to the state. And they're going to get to go in there. I posted. Did you ever see that movie, See Dick and Jane Run?
Yes.
And where maybe, I don't know if that's the movie. It has Jim Carrey in it. And they promote him to become the fall guy for their company's mismanaging of money and stuff. So he does this interview and the tanks are stalking. And he comes back into the building and everyone's shredding paperwork. Just shred. Yep. That's what's happening at the Roblox headquarters, I believe, right now.
It's like Enron 2.0.
Yeah. They're just massive, trying to delete things. I'm sure they're probably crapping their pants at the moment.
I imagine they are.
And so for companies like Roblox that have been havens for predators, I believe these people should face jail time. Significant jail time and not get off of a fine.
Yeah. I think so too. And I think that, man, if you have stock in Roblox right now, whatever company owns that, you should sell it immediately. Sell it immediately. So maybe nothing will happen, but if I was a betting woman, If I was a day trader, that's what I would be doing.
Sell roadblocks now.
Yeah. Yes.
For sure. So, and you know, Katie, these things absolutely disgust me. The way that companies allowed us, and I have a huge problem with X as well. X is a huge platform for porn, by the way. Lots of porn on X. It's easy to get to for people, kids, even if they were on the platform. And
Well,
so
I noticed when I mean, never mind. I've only ever had one account, obviously, but when my account was new, it would just randomly come across my timeline. Now that I block, like every time I see it or whatever I block, I haven't seen any in like a year. So maybe it's getting better. Maybe it's just my algorithm.
It might be your algorithm. What I've done is I block certain words and stuff like that in order so things won't show up on my timeline. I mute words.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yes, you can. You can mute words, phrases, whatever you want to mute, and those things will not show up on your timeline.
Nice.
So,
good to know.
Yeah, good to know. And it helps clean it up. But that doesn't change the fact that if you don't have any of those algorithms set in place, that you're not going to get inundated with sex bots who are who send you private messages on DMs or whatever.
Oh,
and stuff like that.
I do have my private messages turned off, but there's that box you can look at where people are trying to
send you stuff,
and that's just full of. I mean, I don't even look at it anymore, but there's probably hundreds of messages in there.
Oh, probably. I would imagine so. It must be just bot filled, man. It's terrible. It's terrible, and those things are just so destructive, and especially for kids.
Yeah, for sure. X is not for kids.
No,
in my opinion, I don't think anybody under the age of 18 should have a Twitter account at all.
No, you're right. They shouldn't. And let me ask you your opinion real quick while I got you. What's your opinion on the whole federalization of DC right now? What Trump's doing with the police?
I don't know.
This is a safe space.
I'm torn. I kind of like it. It is federal land. Like if you go to a national park, you have federal police there. Why is DC not the same? Especially since, I mean, I was just in DC for the inauguration, and a lot of DC is national, like park space, like the whole mall area, like the whole area that we were when we were there for the inauguration is all national park space. So why is it not policed by why is it not policed by, like, I don't know, what are the forest cops called? Rangers? I don't know. Yeah, something like that. They should have those guys there.
Yeah, I'm for it. For the simple fact, as you mentioned, DC is a federal zone, right? It's not owned by any state. It's a federal zone, and I do believe that the federal government should have oversight, and especially being our capital, right? You said you were in DC for the inauguration. I described it like this. It smelled like piss and marijuana.
Luckily, it was like 5 degrees outside. So I did smell a lot of marijuana, though. But as far as the piss, I think it froze immediately, so you didn't really smell it that much. It was so cold that weekend. Here's the reason why I'm kind of on the fence about it, is because I don't know who's going to be in power in a few years from now. And if
we know what it was like when the Democrats did it. Just look at 2021. They had fences up.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
9.
You completely changed my mind. You're correct.
It's like they've already done it, and like worse, but worse in the fact that they protected themselves and just lets everybody else to deal with the crime.
Well, and here's the thing: if the feds are taking care of all of the crime in DC, they can't fudge their crime statistic numbers anymore, like they do by just letting people go and not arresting people for crimes.
Did you know? You may have not known this. I just found this out today. Did you know that in DC, anybody that was committing a crime that was under 25 years old was still being charged like a minor?
25.
Yes.
16 and up should be an adult. Once you're 16 years old, you know what's what. You know right from wrong.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. They did that purposely to fudge numbers, by the way.
To fudge the numbers. Yeah, exactly. But if
So
the
they
feds
were-
are in charge of it, they can't do that anymore. It'll
Right.
be on the FBI crime statistics.
Yeah, so
which
the
we all
baby
know
face-
what those look like.
What was it? Baby-faced. What was that new euphemism that they dropped the other day?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember. The last time I paid attention to a new euphemism, it was lunchtime rowdies.
No, but one of our boys put it in the chat.
I don't remember. I don't listen
Baby
to those
face,
people.
baby face, not criminals. Baby face something. I have to look now. Now I have to look because
Oh
I
my
don't
goodness.
remember. But it was baby face something. Baby faced. It was the New York Times. They posted it. It was a bunch of black kids on the.
I'm
on the
scrolling
cover.
through the group chat too.
I am as well. Let's see who catches it before I do. No, here. You might get it before I do.
Do. Why is my alarm going off?
It's time to get off work.
I guess. I think it's because I silenced it before instead of turning it off. So it just did this little snooze alarm for me. That's what happened.
On a baby face, baby.
Our group chat talks a lot,
Yeah,
Frank.
it does.
I'm scrolling for a while now.
Found it. I found it. Okay. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Here we go. Babyface Brooklyn gangbangers.
Oh, babyface Brooklyn gangbangers. Okay. Yes. They look like super innocent angels, don't they? I mean, if I was walking down the street and all 9 of those people were walking towards me, I wouldn't have a second thought. I'd start skipping and
They're-
whistling.
Yeah, they're baby faced.
They're just a bunch of kids. What are they going to do?
Arvolt finally joined in. Babyface suspects.
Thank you, Arvold. Is he the one that posted
He
that?
was.
He seems like yeah, exactly.
He was. It was babyface something. I could not think of it, but it's true now. But anyway, yeah, that's what DC had been doing with their crime statistics. They were charging anybody that was 25 and under as a minor.
It's insane to me. Like, we need to hold people responsible. We need to hold parents responsible if they're not teaching their kids right from wrong. Like, there's good parents, and then there's some parents that just don't even do any parenting at all. Did you see those like little kids? They had to be like 12 years old that got locked into the Walgreens recently.
No,
Like, they were shoplifting, and they lock like the Walgreens people lock the doors, and they
awesome.
were I mean, I was flabbergasted, Frank, the way these little boys were talking to these adults in this Walgreens. It was horrible. And those kids didn't have parents they didn't have parents that were doing their job, you know?
Yeah.
Because you don't talk to adults like that.
No. You know, there's another talking about crime, and we're staying on this topic for a little bit. In Colorado, there was a guy that tried to kidnap a kid. You know, he got left off. He got all the charges were dropped on him, and he was let out.
He was an illegal immigrant, right?
Yeah.
I saw the videotape of him trying to snatch that kid. That's
Yep.
horrible.
Yeah. The judge dropped the charges on it, and
I hope they deported him.
nope. They sent him to some mental institution, saying that he's a nice guy when
Do
he
they
has
not?
the medication.
Do they not have mental institutions wherever he's from? Can we send him to one there, please?
No, you know what
Please?
happens. Apparently, what happens in some of these institutions they send these criminals to sometimes is they'll clear them and they'll be allowed to walk right back out into the street.
Yeah, that's what happened to Laken Riley. That guy should have been in jail. He should have been deported. He was deported once. He came back, and then he should have been deported again. And New York City didn't do it. Didn't
Nope.
do anything about it.
Nope.
And now Laken Riley is dead.
Yep.
Beat over the head with a rock,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just another babyface suspects.
Yep. And she was her whole life was helping people. She wanted to be a nurse because she loved helping people so much. And this is who we're losing for what,
Mm-hmm. And of course, I know we don't do a whole lot of politics. Well, I've been doing all kinds of politics today on this channel.
Oh.
But I know you don't do very many politics, but
I don't.
It is interesting that there is a party in the country who is more sympathetic to people who break into the country legally and commit crimes in the country and don't face the same type of punishment that a citizen would face.
Yeah.
Especially a white citizen, I might mind you.
Yeah.
If you're a white citizen, you're going to get the book thrown at you. Daniel Perry, for example, in New York City.
Yeah, in New York. Yeah.
Where they tried to, essentially ruin that guy's life, but they wanted to put him behind bars forever instead of
forever.
Instead of actually doing their job and keeping the homeless dude in prison. He had a rap sheet that was longer, so long.
He was a hero. They should have been having a little ceremony and giving him a key to the city or some sort of plaque or some certificate that they printed out saying, thank you for helping your neighbors. Thank you for being a part of this community. Nope, that's not what they did. They tried to lock him up forever instead.
There you go. I know that's why you're over here. He sees the box of treats on my desk. He's like, I see them. You haven't given me one in a while. So, but yeah, I mean, there is a political faction within this country who would rather see people who live in this country legally suffer at the hands of people that don't belong here, or suffer at the hands of people who belong in prison.
I don't know how political you want to get, but in my opinion, this is not Frank's opinion. It might be his opinion, but in my opinion, I think that these are the same people who would have been pro-slavery if they lived back then, because their excuse always is, well, who's going to pick the vegetables if we don't have these people here? So you're for exploiting cheap labor because why? You want a cheap cucumber? What are we talking about? You're talking about exploiting human beings. These are human beings.
Yeah.
Right. And I can't wrap my head around that. I just really can't.
And yeah, you can't, because when you think about a moral society, you don't think about those things that people would that have a charge of representing the people or the charge of executing the law. You wouldn't imagine these individuals who would allow these things to happen in their communities. And we face that not just at the federal level, not just at the state level. We face this at the community level as well. There are so many corrupt police officers, corrupt judges, corrupt people within these positions of power that would rather just be able to get rich off the system and screw everybody else.
Yes.
And I know, if you've ever been to a city council hearing, for anybody watching,
I was.
I know that I was kind of leading into that. For anybody that's ever been into a city council meeting and have watched how the proceedings, you don't have free speech in these things. They don't want to hear from you at all. They just want to come out, dictate whatever they want to dictate to the community, and shut down discussion and say, okay, we're leaving, or we're moving on, or that's not on the agenda. I don't care if it's on the agenda or not. You work for me. I pay taxes in this county.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they don't care. They just leave. They bang their gavel. Where's my gavel? They bang their gavel, and they just turn around and walk out the back door. And there's people standing waiting to be heard, and they won't. Yeah, they just leave. At least that was my experience.
Well, I think that's the experience with a lot of people. I've seen a lot of city council meeting videos posted online, and a lot of them are the way that what you have to deal with at your city council meeting you got to attend.
Yes.
And they really hate people coming in and filming. They hate being exposed.
Did not like me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they hate being exposed.
The chief of police would not even look at me. I was trying to get his attention, and then they they had this other big fat woman cop block him and say, "Can I help you?" And I said, "I just wanted to introduce myself to Chief." I forget what his name is now, but I knew his name at the time.
You know what it
And
reminds me of is that the meme with the Chad and there's a pretty girl and he wants to talk to her, and then on the bottom panel it's a big fat one. She's not interested.
Yeah, yes, yeah, exactly. Well, that's what she did. She's like, "You'll have to talk to the mayor. You can't talk to the chief of police." I'm like,
He's
okay. And then
uninterested.
the mayor wouldn't answer any of my questions, and then he turned his back on me and walked away. It was mind blowing. I had never tried, I had never gone to that's the first city council meeting I'd ever been to, and I actually had something to say, and they would not hear it at all. They knew why we were there. I had a whole family with me who wanted to be heard, that were actually from the place, from the city, because they were having trouble getting heard. I'm like, well, I'll just drive up there and I'll go. I thought, me in my big brain, I'm like, oh, well, they'll listen to me because, I don't know what I was thinking, but they didn't listen to me either. So
Yeah, they're corrupt individuals. That's who they are.
And I was filming them, and I don't think they like that.
No, I guarantee you they did not like that. I can almost guarantee that.
If it wasn't 2 hours away, I would go back every single month and just sit there with my camera just to piss him off.
They would put a permanent person on detail just to watch you every single time.
They followed me out of the town. They got behind my
they wanted to make sure you were leaving
my car. Yeah, I followed I've never driven so safely in my life. 10 and 2, going under the speed limit. It was, yeah. I've never been so safe in my life.
I love this. Arvolt.
Yep. They'll listen to me. I'm a micro internet celebrity. Well, and honestly, if I'm being honest, I really thought they weren't listening to them because they were an immigrant family here legally. They're also homeowners in this town. But I really thought that these cops are racist. It's in Georgia. There's racism in Georgia. There's no hiding it. I really thought this was just a small town government that was racist against this family, and that I would come in looking like this and they would listen to me. But that's not what it was at all, apparently.
They're like, get out of here. You're a woman.
Maybe I prejudged them. Yeah, that was probably it. I should have brought Dave.
You should have probably brought Steven.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Steven's here to talk on our behalf.
I could have used him that day for sure. I could have used you, actually.
Sharon tells me I have a problem with tone, and I tend to agree with her because my tone can come off very dismissing and aggressive sometimes. And so she tells me all the time, she's like, I think it's your tone, because obviously you care about people and stuff like that. But whenever I talk to people, my tone it's something I've been trying to work on. My tone is very, I guess, it gives off a feeling of not caring, very sarcastic. Again, some attributes I was describing about myself earlier.
Yeah. In case anybody's wondering in your audience right now, the reason I went out there is because I came across a body cam video of this police chief that I was trying to introduce myself to shooting this woman's dog on her property. And it made me mad. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I love animals, especially dogs. And when I saw that happen, I knew somebody who lived in the area. They knew the family, and they got me in contact with them. And I wanted to be, I don't know what I wanted to be. I wanted to help them get some sort of justice for their dog. It was ridiculous the way this dog got worse than the ATF. I'm telling you, it was horrible. But I mean, I don't know. We did raise enough money for her to pay for, my people on my subscribers raised enough money to pay her fines that they gave her. They tacked more fines onto her for no apparent reason, and to bury her dog. So at least I could do that. So I did help a little bit.
Yeah, you have a great community who bonded together to help that lady. So that's awesome. Yeah. That speaks volumes to you and your community over there, Katie. So that, that's good stuff right there. Yeah, I know. Arvolt says I am tall, and he'll intimidate them into listening. I am
I
tall.
mean, yeah. Arvolt's tall too.
I've never met Arvolt in person.
I have. He's tall.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's something I do this thing. You can ask Sharon about it. I do this thing where I take pictures from people's perspectives of what they look to me at. So I take a picture from their eye level, and now I take a picture of my eye level to who I'm talking to show them what I visualize when I'm talking to them.
Yep.
I got a bunch of photos on my phone of that, of what Sharon looks like to me when I'm talking to Sharon.
I can tell you what, when I met Frank in person for the very first time years ago now at this point, I was not expecting you to be tall. I met Frank and I'm like, oh my gosh, Frank, what are you doing up there? Frank is very tall.
Giant sometimes.
Yes.
And
he probably noticed all the gray hairs on the top of my head. I didn't even realize it, but he's probably counting them.
I count Sharon's. Don't tell her though. She gets on to me. I'm like, oh, look, there's another white hair there. She's like, shut up. Stop that.
Frank, I'm looking at you right now. You don't want her to start counting, so you should stop that.
It'll keep her busy.
For years.
It'll keep her busy. She won't be able to tell me anything else if she's counting my white hairs. Right, Bruce? Bro, why you want to be so lovey right now? Go over there. Go over there.
Because you have milk bones, Dad?
I do. But you don't get all those all the time. So chill out. Sit over there. There you go. Good boy. Now that I made him sit, now I have to give him one.
I'm gonna have to pass out some milk bones too. There we go. These are my co-hosts, everybody. There you go. There you go, Zena. I don't have their lights on right now, though.
They're like, Mom,
I didn't know
we were going to be on camera.
Yeah, I didn't.
We weren't
my
ready.
Camera turned off.
They're like, we weren't ready, Mom.
Yeah.
So let's see here. All right. Well, I just wanted to do a let's chat, and I'm glad that Katie got to join me tonight to hang out and just chat a little bit. I missed having chats with everyone, and especially friends like Katie. Maybe Stephen will join me next time and get to chat, because I was telling the guys about Stephen. I said that guy could just talk. He'll have a live stream for like 6 hours and just talks.
He has the gift of gab for sure. And it's not just talking, he's entertaining too. It's amazing.
Yeah, entertaining as well. So,
I appreciate you letting me come on, because I did want to tell somebody who would appreciate it about what happened in my Discord this morning and how difficult it was to say, no, don't do that. We pray for them. That's what we do here. Yeah. And it working out in the end, because I really do think that small miracles happen every day. And I think that was one of them.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the message that you gave your community that way, it just speaks volumes. Again, I was just talking to them about, trying to present Christ more in my life all the time and not be that stumbling block for somebody. And you doing that, not being that stumbling block for somebody else, that it's easy to lash out or to go after, or mob mentality, really speaks volumes and where you are in your life with your walk with Christ. So that's awesome, Katie. Thanks for sharing, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I appreciate it. I'll let you close out your show on your own. I'm gonna head out. Thank you, everybody, for welcoming me into this community too. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Katie. We'll talk to you a little bit later. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
All right. That was Katie joining us via the internet. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We will have a Bible study tomorrow morning, so I hope you guys tune in for that. Outside that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for today, for the evening. I'll talk to you guys real soon. All right. God bless everybody. Thank you again to Sabrina and also to Rainmaker for the donations that were sent our way on the channels. Thank you again, Rainmaker. And of course, Sabrina, who sent via Cash App. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. All right. God bless everybody.